Hello, and welcome to season 3 of The Desk of a Navy Wife, where you may or may not hear my kiddos in the background. My name is Raina Worthy, and on this podcast, we like to talk about challenges, triumphs, and experiences with being a military spouse. So kick back, relax, make a cup of coffee, or get that evening dinner ready, and watch or listen to me in the background. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge that this episode includes discussion about military service and experiences during the Iraq War. With ongoing global conflicts and heightened emotions many may be feeling right now, some parts of this conversation may be sensitive for listeners. Please take care while listening and pause if you need to. Sending my love from the desk of a Navy wife. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm your host, Raina Worthy, and I am joined by Maurice Carey, who is a famous Hollywood actor and also has a background in the military. So I'm going to turn it over to him so he can introduce himself, tell his story, his journey as well. Maurice, welcome.
What's going on? Thank you, Raina, for having me on your show today. I really appreciate it. My name is Maurice P. Carey. I am a formerly homeless United States Marine Corps Iraq War combat veteran, former firefighter EMT for Gwinnett County. I'm a full-time single father and who at some point in his life decided to become an actor, which I'm also known from Law and Order, Organized Crime, as well as CBS's Beyond the Gates. Actor, producer, director.
Your whole list.
A few things, personal motivator, all that. So
No, and I appreciate it. And I love that you've definitely have a lot going on in your background and your journey. And that's what I'm looking forward to tapping into today. With that, can you please share a little bit about your journey in the Marine Corps and how those experiences have shaped who you are today?
how much time do we have?
We have time. We have
We got-
time.
We got time today.
Oh, we have time. Yeah,
We got time today.
definitely.
All right. So basically, if people haven't figured out yet, I'm black, and and I was born in a time where I was still trying to figure out how to be a young black man. I was born in the '80s. I'm an '80s baby, and I grew up on when rap music. Gangster rap music and stuff like that was really just becoming a thing, and we had came really coming out of the black exploitation films and getting into like movies like Juice and Menace to Society,
Yep.
South Central, different movies like that. Huge fan of Denzel. I love Malcolm X was really, really influential for me, but I took the wrong message from that.
hmm
And growing up at that time, then also I come from, and I don't say this as a flex or anything, but I come from a long line of thugs, thieves,
hmm
pimps, drug dealers, and bootleggers, legitimately. And so because I grew up without a father figure in my life for the majority of my adolescent life,
Mhm.
I was trying to find something. I was searching for not only how to be a man, like what the idea of a man was, or to be so we call it now a real man, but back then it was just a man.
Just a
You know, I
man.
just
Yeah,
how to be a man. I just want to be not only a man, but a good man,
right.
a strong man, a confident man, a dependable man, a wise man, just so many superlatives. And I was just trying to find it out. And I was looking for it in film and media and things like that. And then I was also looking at it from my family on, my maternal side, because that's when I grew. And I took a lot of the wrong lessons from that.
Mhm.
I took the way that I tried to portray myself and the person I wanted to be real. It was crazy because being real back then was always connected to something bad. And it was always like if you ain't been to jail, you ain't real.
You ain't real. You ain't from the
You
street.
ain't real. You ain't been
Yeah.
to jail? Bro, you
You
read
ain't had no
books.
hard life. Yeah.
Right, you ain't did nothing. You ain't been to
Yeah.
jail. And so I made it a point to go to jail. I actually ended up getting locked up 3 times between the ages of 17 and 20 before I joined the Marines.
Wow.
And also this story, all of this leads into
Absolutely. Yes.
yeah, all of this leads into the Marines. And so yeah, I took the wrong lessons, and I just wanted to be real. I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be wanted. I wanted to be wanted because I couldn't figure out the code of how to be accepted. Like, am I not real black?
Right.
am I the wrong
Like
kind of black?
their
Like,
approval almost.
right, exactly. You know, we're all the cool kids because it was always the cool kids that was smoking and doing this and talking this and having sex and did that. And I just wasn't doing it. I'm a nerd. It's a Batman comic book back here.
Right.
It's Transformers. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a nerd. I got my PlayStation 4 that I had, my PlayStation 5 upstairs, Xbox. You get what I'm saying? Like I was that kid.
Right.
I'm still that guy. Luckily, I can afford this shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got all my little Transformers over here.
Yeah.
And so look, Transformer tattoo. You know, so I was different, and even and so I made different decisions. And so me trying to be like the crowd, like the group, not knowing that my greatest strength was just being myself, but I figured that out later. I figured it out later. It landed in 17, it landed me in jail. But it was I never did anything that was felony worthy. It was always misdemeanors. But the
Mm-hmm.
point was, it's like, all right, I've been in jail. Am I real now?
Right. Do I fit in?
Right, am I in yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go again.
Right.
Am I real yet? Man, all right. I'm gonna go one more time.
Right.
But if I ain't real, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah. And so basically what happened was the third time, well, we'll say the fourth time I got in trouble. I didn't go to jail, but the fourth time I got in trouble, I would have really, really, really been in trouble.
Okay.
Got out of it. I ran and I got away. I say this now because this is well over 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well over 25 years ago. So they still looking for me. Guys, I'm right here.
No.
It's been 25 guys. I'm right here. Look, they probably
Right.
Sir,
Take a picture.
we see the podcast. Yes.
Yeah, take that picture. Right.
Right. It was him. I remember. But no. So basically, I got in trouble, and
Mhm.
I got out of. I ran. I got out of. I hid, ran, got out of it, and I said, you know what? I'm a terrible criminal. I'm bad at this because I keep getting caught.
Keep getting caught. Yeah. It's not for you.
I'm gonna try something different. And I think that's the difference between me and a lot of the people that I grew up with is their willingness to try something way out there, way different, unexpected, something that I'm afraid to do. And I've always been that way. I didn't know what it was. And what
At
that
the
was
time,
for me, it was the United States Marine Corps, and the thing was, the Army was actually at me first. They were the ones knocking on it because the Army, they are tenacious. They will be up at your school, at your door. They are worse. They are worse than what is the ones that your car insurance, your car warranty.
Yes, car
They
warranty
are
people.
worse than, yes. The Army is worse than the car warranty people calling you up like,
Waiting for
hey,
you. Yes, they come at the
right,
schools with the tables and cloths and everything.
all that.
Yes.
They gonna be there. They in your window like, I see you.
Yes.
But the Marine Corps, everybody knows. We make jokes. The military families, we make jokes, but everybody knows the Marine Corps are the baddest ones. And I wanted to be because my uncle was in the Army. My brother was in the Army. I had a younger brother who he later went to the Air Force. So I'm 5 years older, so he later went to the Air Force. I had an uncle who was in the Navy, but there was no Marines. I'm the first Marine in my family. First
Okay.
Marine in my family. And so I was like, Bumper, have you seen the dress blue uniforms? I said, I want to look like that. And so here's the other thing too. Commercial that was running in 2001. And this is probably before your time. You might not remember this.
I don't know how young you think I am, but no.
But the commercial was, there was this Marine, right? Scaling this, he was by himself, scaling the mountain, boom. And then he gets to the top of the mountain, and there's a big ass lava monster, and he's fighting the lava monster, and the sword comes down from heaven and fucking lightning hits him, and he turns into a Marine and fights the goddamn monster. I said, I want to do that. I said, Sabi, y'all, where the lava monsters?
Right.
Sign me up to fight a lava monster.
Yeah.
When nobody else fighting lava monsters with lightning swords coming from heaven, from God. I want God's Mameluke sword. I was like, and then he turned with the dress blues, and I was like, I want that. And so I ended up, they had the recruiter stations lined up, and I ended up, I went past the I actually knocked on the Air Force, but they weren't there. Now that I know what I know about the Air Force,
it wasn't for you.
Of course. Next, it was the Army. I went right past them. They got on my nerves. Then it was the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what they look tired.
Because they work them so much.
No, they looked sleepy.
Yeah.
When I remember, they looked sleepy. And then I walked past, then I went down to the Marines, and it was two black dudes in there, and they was in there talking and laughing. I said, I'm going in there.
That's what I want. My people.
Yeah, so that's how they got me. They got me with a lava monster, dope uniform, and two funny black guys. I was easy.
You were so.
And I told them I want to be a pilot. I want to be a pilot in the Marine Corps. And they said, sure, we'll sign you up. I came in there with these big glasses. I want to be a pilot. They didn't tell me shit.
Yeah, nah.
They didn't tell me I needed no college. They didn't tell me you can't be a pilot with
No.
glasses. They didn't
Yeah,
tell me
no.
none of that. It make you something. You'll pilot something. It might be a paper plane.
Right. But you can write pilot on it. It's okay.
Right. You can write pilot light.
Right.
So anyway, ended up joining the Marine Corps, and I was actually in the DEP program. I joined the Marine Corps in 2001.
Okay.
I was in the delayed entry program, and during my time in the delayed entry program, an event happened. I was sitting at home, and a major United States event happened. Do you remember what that is?
You talking about 9/11?
I am absolutely talking about 9/11. Sitting, waiting to go to boot camp when my mom, I was at my mom's house and I was sitting on she was at work and I was sitting on her bedroom floor watching TV. Probably watching Power Rangers, which is so funny because I actually work with a Power Ranger now.
Do
on the
you
show.
really see? Full circle.
Yeah, full circle. That's why
Full
I tell Keith all the time. I said, Keith, I don't care about all your other work. He done worked
Yeah.
with Jamie Foxx and this. He was in Dreamgirls. He did
With everything.
I don't care about none of that.
Right.
You were a Green Ranger.
That's
all
what
I
matters.
care about. I tell him all the time, I don't care about none of your work. You were a Green Ranger.
You're a Green Ranger.
But anyway, well, yeah. So, I got really nervous. I called my recruiter. I was like, yo, what does this mean? I'm
Yeah.
going straight to war. You're 20 years old. I didn't know nothing. He was like, nah, man, we got to train you first.
Yeah. We don't just throw you out there.
Learn your job. He said, then you might go.
Yeah.
I ended up not going immediately. I actually didn't end up. So, the attack happened in 01. I didn't end up going until 04. So I still had 3 years before I ended up.
Prior to.
Yeah. So, but I ended up, in Japan. I was on mainland Japan. So everybody always talks about Okinawa.
No, I was on
Actually,
mainland. It's about mainland.
Yeah, when I signed up, I said Okinawa. I didn't know any better. And so I was so disappointed when they sent me to Iwakuni. I was like, oh, this is
No, this is Japan.
I got Nagasaki right over here. I got Hiroshima right over there too.
Yeah, everything.
Oh, yeah, I was like, thank you, Marine Corps. Yeah. So I ended up living in Japan for about a year.
Okay.
Ended up getting married while I was in Japan, not to a Japanese woman, to a black woman that I was seeing. But then which made me have to go over to my final duty station was Camp Pendleton, California. And, when I went off to war, so I ended up going to Iraq in February. We went Valentine's Day, 2004 is when we went. Yeah. Valentine's Day, 2004 or 2004. So yeah, 21 years ago. And let's just say when I came back, I didn't have the wife I thought I did.
Okay.
She was impregnated, and I didn't know. I got. Let's just say
That's
that
the
didn't
story
work
that
out.
they tell everybody.
Yeah. And it's such a long story. We would have to dedicate an episode just to that.
That's okay.
Yeah. And so once I got out of the Marine Corps, I got out in 2005.
Okay.
I did my 4. I did a war and my 4, and I was good. 15th, 2001, I stood on the yellow footprints. Over 14th, 2005 was the day I walked off of Camp Pendleton, and I was no longer an active duty United States Marine, which would put us at 2 days ago.
Wow.
20 years and 2 days.
20. See?
20 years and 2 days.
2 days.
Ago.
Yes. So I have a question about that with your transition into this civilian life. What was the hardest part about transitioning from the military to civilian, as we call it, and eventually into the entertainment industry?
Well, the trick is when I got out of the Marine Corps, I was homeless. I didn't have anywhere to be. So my transition was, and I can't even say typical. I don't know what other people's transitions are. I think other people have a better plan. I think their plan is to they'll either have somewhere to go or they'll go home to their parents. I was living in San Diego at the time, and then I actually was going through that divorce, which the divorce didn't happen until October 25th of 2005. So I actually had to hang around
A little bit.
San Diego for a bit.
Wow.
But when I left, I didn't have anywhere to go. I could have went home to my mom in Atlanta. I could have done that, but at the time I was 24 years old. I'm not running home to my mama.
Right.
I'm not doing it. And luckily a Marine, I think his last name was Jackson. When he left, he let me borrow his car just to drive around the base, whatever. He let me borrow his car.
Yeah.
He didn't know while he was in Iraq that I was living in his car for the year that he was gone. Yeah, I had all my stuff in his car and just driving around living life.
Yeah.
The best as I could. And so my transition from one to the other is absolutely, I would assume it's not typical. It was a slog. It was a journey. It was rough. But I will say this at the time, and it's so funny. 2 days ago, I was very sad. 2 days ago, I was very,
Mhm.
very sad because I saw a picture of myself in September of 2004. We were rotating out of Iraq. We were done with what we needed to do, and I was rotating out. And in the picture, I was smiling. And 2 days ago, I was very sad when I saw that picture because I realized that that guy, can't even call him a kid. He was
Mhm.
23. He had no idea the life that was coming. He had no idea what he was coming home to.
Yeah.
He had no idea what the next 20 years of his life was going to look
It
like,
looked like
and it
mhm.
made me sad for him,
Mhm.
because I knew his future. But obviously it worked out, but the scars are still there. The
Yeah.
sadness obviously is still there. It's like,
For
dude,
sure. So with that, with your transition and all, and you having to live in the car for a year and everything, my question for that is, did the transition assistance program exist at that time, or was there no assistance program that existed where they could give you resources and information?
I was talking with Daryl. I believe he's the CEO of US Vets, and he was telling me that at that time when I had gotten out, he either said it was just starting to get up and running during that
Okay.
time.
A pilot
So
program
right. So I don't remember because again this is
years ago.
20 years ago now.
Yeah.
October.
uh,
I know they had transition as far as like do your paperwork, do your VA, this and that.
Right. But
Which
that's
and
it.
and and let me just say this. I do advocate for military people when they get out of the military to
Mhm.
do your VA paperwork. Reason being is because what saved me let me see, 5, 6, was it 7? It was like a year and a half later. So I did my paperwork and I had no idea
Mhm.
that my paperwork had been approved. I think at the time I was getting 35, 40%, something like that,
Yeah.
which was like $900 a month.
Mhm.
But I had no idea. They didn't have an address on me. I had no idea. So about a year, maybe a year and a half, I was being paid $900 a month.
Mhm.
And all it did was trouble.
Wow.
So while I was homeless, every now and then I would have, let's just say, a young lady would be kind enough to let me use her couch.
Okay.
Keep it simple. And one of the young ladies, we'll call her Joe.
Okay.
She was like, you got it. I would use her address. She was like, you have a check here. And I was like, check for what? Why I got a check? Well, I said, go ahead and open it up. She's like, well, I already opened it. I said, and so she was like, yeah, it's a check for like $13,000. I said, hold up, wait, well, hold up.
Right.
Here
Say
for
it
how
again.
many?
Repeat the number.
Say that one more time. How many? What a comment? It's in the
Right.
front of the back.
Is it in front? Is it after the one or
Right, right, right. Is there a dot? You sure that's not a dot? And so when she said that, I was like immediately called the VA. And they were like, Mr. Plus, because my real last name is Plus. That's what the P
yeah,
stand for. Mr. Plus, we've been looking for you for so long.
right. You've been looking for me?
So they told me how much. Well, I think it was like $17,000 they had total for me. And I'm like, why am I homeless? Why was I
Right.
homeless?
Because you didn't
Why?
know. You didn't know.
No. And so
No.
I think that was one of the I'm sure by now, 20 years later, I'm sure they have all that worked out because
They do.
if I would have known, it would have been differently. At the same time, I wouldn't have the testimonial nor the story
Very true.
to uh, I
Or the
took
drive
that
to
hit.
advocate for that, right?
Right,
Do
exactly.
this, do this, do this. Make sure all your
Yes.
duckies is in a row before you walk out and step out that uniform.
Right,
That's
because you'll
it.
mess around and end up like me.
Man.
And so, I basically I took the hit. So I took the hit so other people don't have to. So I can go
Right.
and tell people, yo, this is what could possibly happen if you don't follow up on these things. You will
Yes.
end up like me.
Yeah. And I'm going to put a plug in here. Please, if you are in the process of transitioning, go into your transition assistance program. So talk to your family center, get with that TAP manager and have a conversation so that you can
Mm.
be able to make sure your benefits are good. Touch base with your HR to make sure all the roles that you've had are accurate. Okay. All your information's accurate and you have all your certificates and everything you need before you get out, before you
Absolutely.
transition. Yes. 2 years
Reach
in
out.
advance. Okay.
You said, wait. You say, what was that
The
last part?
2 years, so you want to before
Oh,
no, 2 years. If you're thinking about getting out, join that program 2 years prior to you getting out so you can sit in your class and get all the information you need. Yeah.
Got you. No, I thought you said 20 years. I thought you
No,
were
not
firing shots. I thought you were
nah,
firing
no, not
shots.
at all. No, not firing
Shots
shots.
fired. Shots fired.
No, no,
Shots
not at
fired.
all.
Shots fired. But yeah, also reach out to US Vets. It is just how it sounds. USVETS. US Vets.
Mhm.
And get with them. They have a great transition program for military folks. So
Yes,
do
I
that.
will definitely add that in the description as well. And for
Mhm.
people that don't know, my background is I used to be a facilitator and I also help with all the workshops that service members join. Been doing that for 5 years. So I'm very familiar with the program.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I,
Okay, I'm gonna shift a little bit into Hollywood.
go ahead. Do what
Your
you got to
story, shared your story with,
do.
and I commend you on pushing through
Hmm.
and being honest and open with your experience, your journey, the struggles,
Hmm.
even to the point with you sharing that just a couple days ago I was looking at that image and it made me sad. Like, again, this
Hmm.
focuses on mental health. That's that honesty there, and some things have not healed and you are addressing that. You're noticing what has and has not healed for this journey. So thank you for sharing that portion. So with your Hollywood and your discipline, because now we're gonna play around back and forth a little bit.
Hmm.
How has the values that you've gained from the Marine Corps or the Marines in general influenced your career now as an actor in Hollywood?
Well, coming up, what the best thing that the Marine Corps gave me was, I won't say it gave me, because honestly, Rocky movies, watching like these action films gave me this, but it reinforced the idea of never give up. Think about like the Rocky movies, he never gave up.
Yes,
Think about Die Hard,
yes,
one man against everything, never gave up, that type of deal. So I grew up on those movies. And it reinforced the idea that, if you just keep going and keep trying, eventually something's going to give.
yeah.
You could spend your entire life pushing on a tree. Eventually, that tree is going to lean. It might take your entire life, but eventually it will lean. And so that was like instrumental in becoming an actor, because the majority of, especially a beginning actor's life, is no. The majority of our career is no. Do you
Sure.
want to sign me to your agency? No. Can I have this role? No. What about this role? No. What about this one? Nobody knows you.
Right.
No. I did get my first role pretty fast in comparison to most actors. If you look at it, I could pull it up right now. If you look at the number of no's that I have versus the number of yeses, like my yeses, I haven't even hit 100, but my no's are in the thousands,
Hmm. And you
and
remember
my
them.
ability.
And you remember them. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I literally, there's a list. I can look at them. And so the fact that I'm able to push through that, and I talk to people about pushing through, because part of the reason why I push through is because the not knowing.
Yeah.
And what I mean is you don't know when the yes is gonna be. I don't know when somebody's gonna say yes. So it's like, let me just try again.
Let me
Maybe
try. Yeah.
somebody will. What if I stopped right now and the next person I asked was that yes?
Would have been.
Damn, it's almost insane the way my brain thinks. It's like,
Yeah.
ooh, if I stop right now, I'm good. But what if I just ask one more person?
Absolutely.
And so that's basically what got me to the point that I am now, is just saying one more,
Yeah.
one more.
Wow.
Till finally that one more was, all right, come on, just come on. You want to be in the
Don't
show?
do it.
Come on, we got you. Because eventually the universe gets tired of you asking. It gets tired
It's
of
a
it. It's
thought.
like, come
That is a
on.
thought. Yeah.
One of us gonna wear down, and it's gonna be you. It's
Right.
not gonna
It's
be.
gonna be you because I'm gonna keep asking.
I'm gonna
Okay. I'm
keep
gonna ask.
asking. Yep.
No, I
So.
like. I love that you shared that. I feel the same way with this whole with podcasting and sharing and give away everything when I try to connect and collaborate with people. If you say no, you
Mhm.
say no. I'm gonna move on to the next person and move on to the next, move on to the next. And even with reaching
Mhm.
out to you, I'm like, he could say yes or he could say no. But if I don't ask, how would I know? Like, how would I
Yeah.
know what his response would have been?
A no is always a no when you don't try. It's always a no if you don't
Exactly.
try.
It's instant.
But like if you
Instant.
don't try, the answer is
It's a
no.
no.
But
Yeah.
there's been times where I've had people reach out to me because they figure, he's on TV, he's a celebrity, this and the other. And I'm like, actually, I'm just a person. I know what you see,
Mhm.
but I literally had an entire life before all of this. I was a
Right.
whole person before all this. I made the choice to begin acting February of 2018.
Wow.
There's a whole lot of me before that.
Before 2018.
So
Yeah.
I don't mind holding conversations with people as a person, not as a actor, not as a producer, not as any sort of celebrity, but
Mhm.
as a person, because I find people more interesting than their jobs.
Yeah, then
A,
their
a human
titles.
being is way more interesting. way more interesting.
I love that. And it shows that, I guess, if you think about it, again, another full circle moment, there's the real. There's the real you that you were searching
Mhm,
for in the
mhm,
very
mhm,
beginning.
mhm.
Like, I'm just a
Right,
person at the end of the day.
right.
So, man, so with season three being focused solely on mental health and me having these conversations with both veterans and military spouses, what role has health played in your journey from combat to acting?
Well, for me, it's always it's ever present, and there's aspects of it. So luckily for me, because I do deal with PTSD, my level of it isn't as dire as some others, as well as the way that they portray it in film and television isn't as dire. But there are the elements of being hyper focused, hyper aware, very attention detail oriented. I'm always when I walk the rooms, knowing how to get in, how to get out. And I've gotten to the point where to me it's like that's just common sense to me. Like you
Yeah.
going somewhere,
Be aware
you
of your
go
surroundings at all times. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I was told to do
I'm
that.
constantly doing threat assessments. Which when I say it to people, it sounds weird, but to me it doesn't sound weird. It's like threat assessments. I need to know, like basically me seeing what could potentially happen if this order of events continues on. So it's
Yeah.
like if this happens, if this, then this. So I'll
Yeah.
just alleviate this before that happens. And people are like, you think like that all the time? I'm like, yeah,
All
it's,
the
just,
time.
it's
Yeah.
like fast. Well, you don't. You don't
Right.
want to live.
Well, it's interesting because I wonder if that's just a thing in the military. Because my husband does the same. Him being in the Navy,
Mhm,
he still assesses. He likes to face the door when we're sitting down and we go anywhere.
mhm,
He's always clocking people and where they are, what they have on them,
mhm,
if it appears that they're wearing a weapon on them in an establishment, all
mhm.
of that.
Right. And
So,
so, and I want you to ask him this. And this is a few of us, but I even depending on where I'm at, when I
yeah.
walk into a room, I also always size up the biggest person in the room. I size up each person in the room and say, okay,
Mhm.
if this person flips out right now, how do I break this person down? How do I break this person down the quickest and most efficient way in order to get all these people out of here safely? It sounds crazy. People like, oh my God, like just relax.
Just relax. Yeah.
Don't flip out.
Everybody will be fine.
Everybody's good.
Now me, I clock people, but I don't make it, I guess, in my head as obvious. I just do a quick
Mhm,
glance and I'm aware of my surroundings. But
mhm,
as a woman and going through life
mhm.
and society and high school and college and all of that, I have to. I had to be
Of
like
course,
that
of
and
course.
aware of my surroundings.
So because the thing is there are threats that we see, and
Hmm.
there's the threats that we don't, or the ones that we don't pay attention to. So you got to kind of just be aware. And I try to get my so I've been raising my daughter for 15 years by myself.
Hmm.
And I'm still because she feels so safe around her dad, and it's like, damn, it's a weird thing to say. It's like, damn, how do I make her feel unsafe?
Well,
It's like
then when I'm not
you don't want to
there,
say that, but it's like I want you to be aware of what's going on. Because she likes to wear her headphones, and I'm like, stop wearing your damn
yeah,
headphones.
knock them off. Yeah, you gotta
Damn,
give her scenarios. That's what you gotta do. That's
yeah.
what was given to me. Scenarios, or you're here, you're in this moment, blah, blah, blah. Or,
Mm-hmm.
walk around. And so my mom, she used to have people, I know it sounds crazy now that I think about it, but we would go to the mall and she would call friends every once in a while that were also happen to just be going to the mall. And she'll say, walk up on my daughter and I want to see if she's paying attention. And
Mm-hmm.
some people I knew and some people I didn't know. And they would just walk up,
Mm-hmm.
hey, how you doing? And she wanted to see what was I aware of? And that's what she
Mm-hmm.
used to gauge with me. So it sounds crazy, but looking back, I'm appreciative of it because now I can
Yeah.
hear when someone's about to walk up on me and I'm not in la la land,
Yeah.
just going on
Exactly.
about my business.
Everything is safe.
Everything is safe. It's not. I know. Oh my goodness. So with the mental health being a part of, really, it sounds like you just
Oh,
being hyper focused.
so with me, I actually, and this coincides with what I do, especially being on a soap opera.
Yeah.
I have issues with my short-term memory, as well as my long-term, but really, really, really memorization, and my whole job is memorizing. Like that is my whole job is to
Mhm.
memorize things, and so I actually have to work extra, extra hard, and I have to find so many different ways just to remember so many words,
Yeah.
and that's an aspect of having a post-traumatic stress disorder is remembering things, and also being triggered by things or being angered by things. But luckily, people always talk about, therapy and things like this. And if people want to go to therapy, that's cool. I don't need it, but I said it in a sense that I don't need it because of the way my brain thinks,
Yeah.
because I'm an analyzer and I'm a self-reflector, and I sit and I just think. Like I can literally sit here quietly and just think and start asking what I call the most important question that anyone can ever ask anyone, even themselves, is why. If you start asking the question why, it takes you to a root of things. So it's like, why am I angry?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this person said this. Oh, well, why does that upset me?
Mhm.
Oh, because of something that happened in my past. Oh, well, why did that happen? Why? Till you get all the way down to, oh, that has to do with the way that I see myself.
Mhm.
Perfect example. Why did I feel the need to fit in when I was a kid? Why was I trying so hard to fit in? Well, it was because after reflections, because I never felt wanted by them, not even my own parents, because I was a one night stand baby, um, and some other things. I was like, oh, I never really felt wanted. Well, asking why is probably the most. So I personally don't feel like I need therapy because eventually, which is something that I like. I like self discovery. I like going deep and honest with myself
Yeah.
until I get to the point of going, oh, that's why I do that.
Yeah.
I
It's
probably
that
should.
self-awareness and that self-reflection. You
Yep,
have the time
it
to
is
sit
so
down.
powerful. It is
Yeah.
so powerful. And nothing against therapists and because some people just can't do that. So the scariest place to look for most people is the mirror. Like that is the scariest place for people to
Mhm.
look because now you get to look at yourself, you have to see yourself. And I don't necessarily mean a real mirror, but I mean the self-reflection, the
Yeah.
inner mirror. You know, people are afraid to look at it. And it's like, I've been to war, I've been to combat. I was shot at and I was bombed, and my enemy could not kill me. So I don't hold the same fear as other people.
Other people may. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm not. My bar is, am I gonna die? No.
We good.
Yeah, we good. I'm not gonna die.
Yeah.
Literally, that is my bar. I'm not gonna die.
We ain't gonna I'm not gonna die. Yeah.
Uh,
So with mental health, and I believe I read somewhere that you wrote a book on healing. I could be wrong, but I feel like you
mm,
did write a book. Did you write a book? No. Okay. I thought I researched and saw that you wrote a book.
I
With
started a book.
You
But
started a
no,
book.
yeah,
Okay.
long time ago.
A
Yeah.
long time ago. So maybe that's something you could pick back up. Who knows?
I still got it's in there. It's been about 10 years, but you never
Nah,
know.
nah, we gotta get up off that. We need to get up off that book. So all right, my question now is there's a big stigma
Mhm.
around veterans seeking mental health and support. And I know for you, you said, it's a self-reflection. You're into that why and being able to ask your why and everything. What would you say to service members or spouses who are hesitant to reach out for help? Maybe they're not okay with that self-reflection. And so they may need to, yeah, what would you say
So,
to them?
well, if there was for something I would say, it would actually have to go back into self-reflection, but in a sense of me saying, if they were hesitant, well, why are you hesitant? Look into the reasons why
Mhm.
you are hesitant.
Yeah.
What is the fear that you have, or what is the consequence that you feel that you will have if you go to get that help or get the
Get help.
therapy? If it was something like, well, somebody else might say what? And
Right.
they're
Then
gonna say
what?
what?
Yeah.
Then what gonna happen? You gonna
Right.
pass? What's gonna happen
Yeah.
ultimately if you go? The things that you share with those with doctors is confidential. It's just between you guys. And you need an outlet.
Right.
Everybody needs someone to talk to. Even if it's God. Everyone needs someone to talk to. So
Interesting.
just go, and even if you don't even talk about your problems the first one or two times, just go to have a conversation about
Yes.
anything, just to get a rapport,
Yes.
have a friend.
Go
Just
vent.
go,
Go laugh. Do
yeah,
something.
talk about anything, sports, whatever. Just
Whatever. Just go. Okay. I would
mhm,
definitely be putting that. Just go.
go,
Okay? Just go.
just go.
Stop
Because
stopping yourself.
are you gonna die?
Right. If the answer's no, then
If
go.
the answer's no, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I ain't
you
gonna die.
fine.
You're gonna be all right.
So for you, how did you find ultimately your purpose and
Mm,
fulfillment after leaving the military, after that structured
mm.
environment?
Easy, easy,
Easy?
easy
Okay, let's
answer.
go.
Oh, that's an easy answer. So, I was floating around. So when I got out of the Marine Corps, so while I was in the Marine Corps,
Yeah.
and right after I got out, I was trying to be a rapper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
oh.
right.
If you take a minute and pull up a little box and Google Southern Noise, and it was four Marine Corps rappers in San Diego. We were all in the papers. We did a show with Ja Rule and Destiny's Child, and we did all. Yeah, I was trying to be a rapper. And what happened in May of 2008? I know the day. It was like May 7th or 8th of 2008. I met my daughter's mom, and later we ended up getting married, and we had a
Mhm.
baby. I wasn't angry anymore. Like my purpose shift. I just
Okay.
wanted to be a good husband. I wanted to be a father. I wanted to do what I believed a man was supposed to do. No, I'm no longer with my daughter's mom. Did the same thing my first wife did. Same thing. It
Okay.
happened twice.
Yeah. You're like, this
So
ain't for
anyway,
me.
oh yeah. So listen. That's a whole nother.
There's a
It
whole
happened
nother
twice.
that's a whole nother podcast episode, y'all.
Whole nother podcast episode. But yeah, no, it happened to me twice. But I ended up getting full custody and child support
Okay.
of our daughter.
Yeah.
My my analytical thoughts, my analytical brain kicked in, and it was like, my daughter did not ask to be brought into a world with two parents who couldn't get their together.
Yeah. Right.
She will not suffer because we were stupid.
Mhm.
I will do everything I can as her dad to make this work, to make life as good as I possibly can for her, because this ain't her fault
Mhm.
at all. She didn't ask to be here, nor did she ask to have two stupid ass parents.
Mm.
So that gave me a mission to
Okay.
be a good father. That is it. You know, and it focused me, and all I wanted was to be for this person
Mhm.
to grow up and be a good person, to be a great example, to be smart and successful, and to be grow up to be a good woman. That gave me purpose, because it was no longer about me anymore.
Yeah.
Because I knew one day my life will end, but my life will continue in a sense through this person.
For
So I
sure.
need this person to be a good person, to be a good example, to
Mhm.
be, and that's the way my brain was kicking in. It's like everything I feel that this person needs to be great. My
Mhm.
daughter needs to be great. You know, not perfect, but just great. Yeah, it gave me purpose to be a dad, and then also to be a single dad. I would be a dad. I would be a dad.
Right.
Yeah, we found out later it was a girl, and was super excited about it. So, yeah.
Well, it sounds like
You
she
know,
played a part of course, your healing story as well, with you being a father and your purpose and everything.
and I tell her all the time that we grew up together.
Yeah.
When I had her, well, when she was born, I was 27.
Okay.
I was 27. Like, granted, I was a grown man. I'd already been married, divorced, already been in war, been in combat, been homeless, been unhomeless. I had gone through a little bit of life,
Yeah.
but I was still growing as not just as a person, but as a man. I was growing as a man. I was growing as a father. I was just growing. And my daughter has watched me evolve into this version. She was there when I first started acting. She was there when I was a firefighter. She was there when I was an EMT. She was there when we lived in Kuwait. We lived in the Middle East for about 5.5, 6 years.
Ah,
Me and her, yeah.
yeah.
And so she was there for all of that. She was there watching her dad figure this out. And now that we've gotten to this point, she's like, "That's my dad." And she's proud. When the kids see her dad on TV or in a movie, and they're talking about the movie, and my daughter be like, "Oh, my dad's in that movie. Or my dad's in that show." She's waiting for Stranger Things season 5 to come out.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, all the kids watch that, and
She
she's
ready.
like, "No, my daddy in that, right?" I'm just saying,
I
so
just putting that out there.
just putting that out there,
No one asked, but I'm gonna tell it anyway.
saving you some time. That's my dad.
Google it. Now
Google it. Google my father. So here's the thing. I don't use my real name on TV, so that's the only thing. She tells me all the time. She's like, "That ain't your daddy. It's different names." And she be like, "Look at
look at
his
the
name,
picture.
guys.
Yeah.
Like, look at the picture." And then, like, if you look at his Instagram, I'm on his Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, guys.
Clearly, this is my dad.
Literally.
Well, that's
Sorry.
good, and that's exciting. I'm glad you guys have that relationship, and like you said,
Mm.
you're building a great woman.
Well,
And
yeah. Part of the reason why it took me sort of late to the acting game, I would say, because a lot of people do it in their early 20s and their early life. And I had to raise a baby first. I had to get her to some size to where I could move around. So now we good.
yeah. Oh, the future. I used to, growing up, same. I was like, I want to be an actor when I grow up. I want to be an actor. But life,
Hmm.
life happens, takes you in different directions. It don't mean it won't never happen. Just may
Hmm.
happen later. Okay,
Later.
a little bit
Hmm.
later.
Perfect example. A little bit later.
So I have a question for you, and this is more
What's
a
up?
shift towards your advice for veterans. So
Hmm.
for veterans that are struggling with their identity, their career, because maybe they didn't have a game plan with their transition, right? Or they have mental health issues after services, or just mental health challenges. What's one piece of advice you'd give them?
Don't forget your training. Watch this.
Oh,
Don't forget your training. It's very simple. And I can only speak as a Marine. And which is great is because the a lot of the military standards are actually moving up to Marine Corps standards, which is great. But don't forget your training. Your training is to adapt and overcome. Your training is to figure it out, and your training also is to focus on the target. So you assess, you identify your target, and you execute. In life, you can identify your target. You can see where you want to be. It's not as simple as, well, I mean, you can pull a trigger, but it may not be a straight shot.
Right.
There may be some twists, there may be some turns, but as I'm twisting and turning, I'm still moving toward my target. Figure out who and what you want to be and just start moving in that direction. Sometimes you'll veer off a little bit. It's like, cool, I went off the road. Let me, all right, cool. Getting back a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. So don't forget your training and identify your target and execute. You
I
can still do it. If you want to be in tech, okay, let's say you were a welder like me. I was a combat engineer welder. Uh, but I wanted to be, in I don't know, tech or Wi-Fi or whatever. I don't know what it is. Silicon Valley, go to school. Military pays for your school. Go get those certifications. Now you're moving toward that goal. And to find what you want and go for it. And don't let nobody stop you.
Yeah.
No one can stop you except for yourself. No one can let you down ultimately except you. You have to make your choices.
Thank you. Thank
Mm,
you. That's a good tip for sure. And I'm going to share some resources that I do know of in the description,
mm,
but there's Coursera, there's Act Now Education, and there's a couple other workforce development that I will definitely drop in the description for service members
mm,
that are looking for that next step
mm.
outside of the military because it's a part of your life. It's not all of your life. So you have to
Right.
keep that in mind as well. So, my
Absolutely.
final question for you is what projects are you most excited about right now, whether in acting or in advocacy or writing? Because who knows, that book might come back.
Right. So currently, well, I have multiple film projects that are coming out, as well as, like I said, Stranger Things is coming, and I'm currently on Beyond the Gate, so that's soap opera, daytime soap opera. But I'm currently writing as well as producing and starring in an action, I won't say thriller, but mostly action film
Okay.
called A Day Labor, and the goal of this is to highlight veterans in a positive light, as well as to employ at least 51% veterans in front of or behind the camera on this film. Like I want to make it really, veteran heavy.
Huh.
So that is really the like what I what I'm really working on right now. We have a portion of the script, still working on the script, still trying to get funding. That's the main thing. We have the script, just trying to get locked in and get that funding. We have a few attachments. If anybody want to give me some money, help me out. So,
Well, if you have a link to share, please send it to me, forward it to me, and that way I can put it in the description as well for people.
got you. Absolutely, I
Sure.
got you.
So I appreciate that. I'm excited for what it is that you're working on and you writing. And is there any final words that you want to say to our viewers, whether they're a military spouse or whether a service member or a veteran?
Yeah, just my motto, honestly, is don't quit. Grit and hard ain't impossible. So if you find something that's difficult, difficult does not equate to what's impossible. Impossible, you can't do it. But difficult, just give me some time. Yeah, you can do it. Just decide to do it. Make it happen. Take some time, but be willing. If you want it, then it'll be worth it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Maurice. I really appreciate you and I appreciate your time and hopping on with me
Mm.
today.
There was one thing I would like to share. If anybody wants to know more about I guess the deeper parts of my story, there is another podcast that I did called the Coinology Podcast, where I get into the a lot of the stuff that I alluded to.
Yeah, yeah.
I get into that stuff, and that could be beneficial and helpful to others. Absolutely,
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
got you. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you again for tuning in this week. I look forward to bringing you resources, support, and laughter. Sending my love from the desk of a Navy wife.